Hey everybody, welcome to our Sunday night Rhino Squad Fireside chat. Super excited. We have special guest from yesterday's training, Samantha Rose, ranked 6 Circle of Champion from Atlanta, Georgia. She's been with Prove It a little over 2 years. She's rocking it, super consistent, single mom, no excuses, wakes up every day with fire and passion and takes action. So with that being said, tonight's host will be Tony Salviano. So Tony, say hi, wave, and we're going to kick this off. So, Samantha, just say hello, and Tony, take it from here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So, we are going to do an open where I'll ask you questions, and we'd love for you to answer. Hopefully, everyone was able to watch you and Nick last night, and we'll go from there. So, yeah. First of all, do you want to?
Yeah, we'll start off.
We'll start off with one and then go from there.
For you. So last night, which thank you so much for taking the time last night to record that with Nick. It was really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
You talked very briefly about plateaus, and we all experience them in our health, journey and our business, all of the above. So can you explain to us one of the plateaus you hit in your business and what you did to get through it?
Ooh, that's a really good one. That's a great question. Absolutely. So I hit plateaus all the time. We all do. And one of the most impactful things I think that I realized was, for a long time, even though we hear the same stuff all the time, right? For a long time, there was just something that didn't resonate with me when I first started, when it came to like the true relationship building, taking care of your people and your customers and your promoters and loving on them, following up with them, sending them handwritten things and giving them that love is something that I was lacking at the beginning. And it wasn't that I was lacking the care or the desire to, it just was an awareness that I didn't have. So actually it was Dustin that really and drilled it in me. He was like, relationship building is everything. And I was like, wow, you're right. And my business was very transactional for a long time because I was doing a lot of tables and I was doing a lot of either like storefronts or, I would help people get started. And then I wasn't really focusing on that building of the glue, the stickiness. So once I changed that, my plateau was gone. And like Brian always says, when you're hitting a plateau, that's where you're growing. That's that time where it's growth. You're going to that next level. So that's definitely took me to that next level.
So with that being said, what were some of the things you did to break through that? How did you reach out to people and basically keep people?
Yeah, great question as well. So one thing that I did was I specifically made time in my day. I'm very, very organized with my calendar. Everything is time managed. And I always like to say that, we're all here to work really, really hard and we're all really passionate, but we also are here to build a business to where we can have a life as well. So time management is everything. In that time management, I made sure to make time for following up as a broad spectrum, but following up means so many different things, right? It could be following up with new people is one thing, but with relationship building is really following up with, hey, how's your experience going? In depth to where you check into their account before you talk to them. If you don't know them like that close, or they might not be like right under you, right? So I check their account. I see how long they've been a customer. I see what flavors they're drinking. I see if they're on SmartShip, if they've changed their referral code, because just because someone's on SmartShip doesn't mean that they have changed their referral code or even know about that free product program. So just really taking everybody through that ultimate prover journey and that experience, step by step by step, and making sure there's nothing leaking from in between the cracks. Just sending handwritten notes is huge. I bought this book that had quotes in it that you could tear out basically. And I'll send those out all the time. Like if somebody's name pops up on my text message thing and I'm like, let me send her something, just stick it in an envelope and send it out. That means so much to so many people. And just the investment, I listened to a podcast today and it was huge. It resonated with me. You can invest your money and time into marketing and hitting cold people all day long, but you can never, ever, ever put that before like the people that you do have, because that bond and that relationship that you're building is so much stronger than anything else that you'll have with, you know, someone you haven't met. So that's super important to keep up with, to maintain a baseline as well.
That's awesome stuff. Definitely.
Just a little side note here, guys. Can you please make sure you're muted? I know a lot of you are not talking, but we do get background noise. So if you can, because I don't want to mute everyone, because if we're going to mute Sam, and I want to hear what Sam has to say.
Sam, do you find it hard, like the bigger you grow, to try to keep reaching out to these people? Like, what are some of the things you do to make sure you're talking to all of them?
Yeah, true. Okay, so that's a good question. You guys have great questions, by the way. Thank you. I love that. So once again, I'm super organized, and I wish I was home right now because I would show you the board that I have at my desk. I could probably send Nick a picture of it, but I have a board for everything. So I have all my Smart Chip customers are on my wall in front of me all the time, my personal Smart Chip customers. And then I have all of my promoters. I have an MVP line where like I know everyone that's in their MVP period. I know everybody that's a promoter personal to me. I know everybody that's a Smart Chip customer. And then I also have what I change the name every month. It's like a hot list, or somebody that just purchased, or, you know, anybody who's in my radar right now that I need to make sure that I love on. So it's like my love on list. I guess I should name it that this month, my love on list. And, you know, that to me, I'm visual. If I see it all the time, even if I'm working on something else, like their name is there. And something really cool that I just started doing, and I haven't finished, but I have started. In front of my desk, I have this square window, and it's pretty tall. It's really, really tall. And down the sides of the window, I actually bought these like cool cards. They're just whatever, science project cards or whatever. And I put everybody's name that I'm directly working with, or that's super active. They don't have to be personal to me, but promoters that are like in my face, like, yo, hi, come on, let's do this. Yeah. And I have their name on the card and their goal for this month and what they want that money for, what their like why is, their hardcore why, which forced me to take the time to talk to them about that, and a picture of their face. So that is like in my face.
That is so huge. Like what you just said there about having people's goals in mind. It's not about like us telling what's going on with us. It's about finding what's going on with them and what drives them. And that goes with customers, promoters. Just knowing what they want is so huge. I love it. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we have more questions for you. We could talk to you all night, but we want to open up to the rest of the team too. So guys, go ahead and just unmute yourselves one at a time. Ask your questions to Sam. This is time for us to learn. And, you know, Sam is being very generous with her time and allowing us to share with her tonight. So please ask her anything. This is your time.
This is fun. Yeah, I can talk about anything. This is my forte. So
hey, I'll ask a question. So I think, you know, we always hear at LCD and different things, like when you're in a plateau, and you mentioned this last night, it's because you have something to learn, or you have space to grow before you hit your next level or your next, you know, run for a while. Like, do you, I guess twofold, like, have you been to LCD? And that was huge for me to say, like, you know, to hear that whole, like, to be expected, like, because we've had people leave, and it would normally maybe tank you, but like the things when you start to put them into play, like having a mentor, like we've had champs go to other companies, and then you're like, don't react, reach out and get that awareness, and like going to those leadership things when you actually put them into play and it works, and you're like, wow, like a year ago I would have been so emotional about that, but here seeing it all in practice, like what's your experience been at, like how important is getting to LCD if you can, and like mental training in that plateau too?
Huge. That is so good. I'm so glad that you touched on that, because it's so important. Listen, guys, what she said is powerful, to be expected. That is everything. If you don't take into consideration that the good comes with the bad and the bad comes with the good, that consistency will break. And if that mindset that you learn, the things that you learn at LCD, like she said, it's a whole awareness that I feel like when I hear it, it makes sense, right? When we all hear it, we're like, oh yeah, I get that. But it's an awareness that you just don't have until you're there and you experience it. And it goes so in depth. LCD changed my life. LCD totally changed my life. Same thing. I've had things happen to me with people and promoters and customers or whatever. And without that training, I would have been an emotional wreck. Like, responding versus reacting is everything. But just knowing, just like I said last night, there should be nothing that ever gives you an excuse to quit. Ever. Know where you're at. Know where, like, more than knowing what your why is, know what your level of commitment is. Know your level of commitment. Where are you at? Nothing should stop you from what you want, right? Nothing, ever. Good, bad, up, down. So just having that awareness of learning to assess situations and not people, because everybody's going to have different experiences and different things that they run into. That's huge. Just knowing that as long as you keep going and staying consistent, as long as you keep going, that's not going to make or break you. Anything that happens is not going to make or break you. So LCD is huge. I highly recommend anybody. I mean, I'm going to go every single time because I know there's always something to learn. And even if it was the exact same stuff every single time, I still am in a different place mentally, and I'm in a different place in my business. And you can never, ever hear something at the wrong time where you're like, oh, wow, that makes so much more sense now, just because of where you're at. So I definitely recommend getting to LCD. I wouldn't be where I am in my business or in my life today without what I learned there, for sure.
Awesome.
Some of us really want to go to LCD.
Do it.
Well, I'm not a rank 6.
You will be. There's
You're not
I'm
ranked
trying
yet.
so hard.
There's still time.
You'll be
plenty of
there,
time.
Kara. Soon.
You could be a rank 8 by then. You never know. You gotta keep it in your head. It just happens like that.
So here's kind of a question. Hopefully you'll be able to think of it this fast, but so I've had a few promoters lately that have had a terrible situation, and I tell them something Nick, Kelly, Jess, and I have been saying, everything's happening in our favor. And I'll give an example, and he might be on here, but one of our promoters had a blowout on the highway, and he called me, and he's like, he was not very happy, and he said, I just had a blowout, and he was really upset. And I said, everything's happening in your favor. I'm like, this is a good thing. And he thought I was crazy. And it ended up being absolutely amazing. He ended up talking to the tow truck driver about ketones. He went and stopped at the tire shop. He's talking to the guy there, and he started all these conversations, met new people. He now has them as Facebook people, and there's conversations going. So my question to you is, can you think of something that's happened since you've been a promoter that started out as a bad thing, but ended up turning around into something good?
Ooh, that's a good question. You guys are so creative. Okay. Something bad that has turned into something good. Well, yeah. Okay. So one time, let me add the word the one time that I ever missed a flight, I ended up sitting next to somebody who was following the ketogenic diet. And it was crazy because it didn't just happen like that. We exchanged Facebook, we stayed in touch, and I told her about the ketones, and she was like, nah, that. And I'm just like, okay, it's fine. Totally cool. Follow each other. I have tons of health stuff. 8 months later, she finally bought. So she watched my Facebook, and she would comment and, just questions, or, hey girl, I like this and that. And boom, 8 months later, she's like, I think I'm ready. My girlfriend has been drinking ketones. I don't know if they're the same kind, but I'm ready to listen.
Yes.
So they're always watching, staying consistent. They're always watching everything
Exactly.
you post, even if they don't like it or comment. People are always watching. They're going to connect. I
love those stories.
Yeah, they're going to connect you to ketones and keto the first time they have to think about it.
Exactly. I love the fact I love thinking and changing the way of our thoughts, that even things that seem that in our past would have been terrible end up being amazing now. Something that like a blowout or I don't know, just terrible situations are actually a good thing. It's happening in our favor. So
for sure, you can. We don't have a target market, so like literally, as long as you're human, no, not even, because even dogs can drink this. Like as long as you're living, you can drink it. So anybody, anywhere. That's the coolest part to me.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay, guys, we are pretty soon going to wrap up with Sam, but I would love to know, does anybody else have any questions for Sam? All right. Well, Sam, we loved having you on. I so appreciate it. Feel free
Anytime.
to stay on if you want to, but we loved what you said, and it was super inspiring. So
anytime,
Thank you so
anytime.
much.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was great chatting with you guys and meeting you guys. I'm sure we'll hang out at the next event. And
We'll see you in
thank you guys
Louisville.
so much.
Thank you.
All
Good
right,
night.
bye.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up with a few things. Okay, so I had to remember what we're talking about. I want to talk about, are they your people? So we've been talking a lot about this, and I've been talking to a lot of our promoters and everything about this, and that are struggling with, who do I talk to? What do I do? How do I cold contact? And one big thing that I found when I was struggling, I was talking to the wrong people. I was talking to the people that really didn't want to talk to me. And you know what's so crazy is our warm market, what we thought was our warm market, might not be our people. So one thing, like for me, for example, my people are Jeep people, are outdoors people, are dog people. And one thing we've talked about is funneling lately. How do we get those people to want to like ketones? And it's not just throwing ketones in their face. It's about telling stories. It's about talking to them. Hashtags are great. I knew nothing about social, and I still don't. I'm feeling forward. I'm just throwing darts, but I'm slowly making baby steps to get better and better. Between Kelly, Jess, Nick, all of you guys have been helping me out, and just watching what you guys are doing is huge. So I know I kind of went all over there, but we have to find ways to funnel these people. So Shelly talked about a little bit, and I've seen Shelly do this. Shelly Hobbs, right? Yep. She goes on to fitness forums and she puts a story on there. And what does it do? People are like, who is this person? And they look back and they come to your page. It's called funneling. So there's that way of funneling. There's also a way to do it where you're on your page, and it's something I've been working on, and I hashtag Jeeps. I hashtag when I'm doing dogs, rescues, all that stuff. And I'm not sure exactly, I still don't know how it all works, but I know that people are looking for hashtags and they're saying, who's doing this? And they're going to your page. And I've had so many friend requests. And that right there has just been huge. It's about, and those are your people. They want to talk to you. They want to talk to you. And it's not about ketones. Like seriously, the conversation, when people say, let's have a conversation or start the conversation, that conversation does not have to be ketones. That conversation for me is dogs, it's Jeeps, it's fitness, it's outdoors, dads. It's about being a dad, being a single dad. It's all of the above. And guess what? As they go on and on, they're like, well, what do you do? Or I say, what do you do? And then they say, what do you do? And it goes back and forth. And honestly, sometimes these will go on, over a week. Sometimes, like Sheeta said, sometimes they go on 8 months. It went on 8 months. If you ask Nick, I went on with him for 8 months, and then I became a customer. So, like, what are some of your things?
Recently, I've become a Jeep person, so I've been welcomed into a completely different community. Stacy's smiling. I see she's a Jeep person too. She and Todd are. Coffee lovers. So it's not just who you are, it's about what you enjoy doing as well, like fitness, working out, hiking, being outdoors, that sort of thing. I'm a coffee. So what else? Being a single mom. I wrote down some stuff here. By day, I'm an investment banker. You know, it's finding people that you can already connect to, because you already have something in common, and it's easier to start a conversation.
Yep, it is. And I know this sounds crazy, but people need to feel that, how do I say this, that they are comforted and they're not alone. So a lot of it might be an emotional funnel, and I'm huge into funnels, but it might be that you're just talking to people, or you put something about the way you're feeling. So emotional funnels are huge. Putting something about your feeling that day, people can relate to it. They're like, wait, I feel like that too. I've had so many people reach out to me when I just told raw feelings. I just told them, this is the way I felt in the past, and things are different now, but I want to help you. And helping people, giving free content, if you want to say, and I hear a lot of leaders saying this, being willing to help someone at no cost, like, that is huge. It's not, and I keep saying it, but it's not about the ketones. It's about helping people and wanting better and bringing them to the community. And once they hang out with us, you can't resist but going, what is that powder stuff? And it just kind of goes. So yeah. You want to add to that at all?
Yeah. And so let's talk about real quickly, because we have like 6 minutes. Let's talk about, how do we find our people? Well, we're on social, right? So many people are on social. A lot of our businesses are on social, but how do we find our people in the big world of Facebook or the big world of Instagram or whatever social platform you're on? You want to talk about that? You want me to talk about that?
We'll start it. I'll go ahead. Okay. Let's see where you're going with this.
Facebook groups is huge. And there's a group out there, or a couple groups out there, for just about anything that you are or that you enjoy. But you have to go find those groups, because that's where your people are, right?
Can I give an example?
Oh, please.
Okay. So videos, live videos. Jess and I have done very well, and Kaylee, my daughter, we've done very well with live videos and funneling with a video. And for example, Jeeps do really well for us. And for you, it's going to be something else, but I'm just saying for Jeeps. So we'll do a video, but then I take that same video, because I know it applies, and I'm not saying anything about ketones, but I put that video in those groups. So we did the Jeep karaoke, and I was kind of joking around with my daughter, but we took that, and she had a competition with her mom about who would get more views. And I wasn't going to let her mom win. So her mom's like, I have 900, I'm gonna hit 1,000. And we had 100, and her own mom made fun of her. Her own mom said, you're not gonna go much over 114 views. So she told me that, and I took that video and I just shared it to all the Jeep groups. And I don't know what it's up to now. Last time I looked, it was over like 4,300.
Yeah.
Which to her, it blew her mind. But that right there, then I went out there, all those people in the Jeep groups, I had so many reach back and friend request me. And now I have at least 2 customers from those Jeep groups that went to my page, and they're like, what do you do? What's this ketone stuff? Why do you have so much energy? So that's kind of what it's about. It's, yeah.
And you were talking to your people.
Talking to my people, not about ketones.
Yeah.
I did have swag on, huge.
I think you drank from your ketone cup a couple times during the video,
yeah.
But still, it was appropriate. And the reason why it was successful is because he was doing something that his people like to do. He was driving a Jeep, right? And it's just about also having fun with Kaylee, his daughter. And who doesn't love to see people have fun? Although we have been told lately that we're too happy and too positive, and we smile too much, to which we said,
terrible thing.
We'll work on that.
Terrible thing. But with that, it's about doing what you love. Like when you write a story, people can tell if you're lying. People can tell if you're BSing. When I write a story, and just for anybody listening, writing's scary. It's so scary to me. Like, I'm not good at this. I keep telling her, and she keeps saying, no, you weren't good at that. Now you're doing better. But anyway, when I'm telling, that is the truth. I'm being raw. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart the way I feel. If you're writing a story and you're copying someone else because they wrote a story, Kendra McMurphy wrote a story, or someone else wrote a story, people are going to see right through it. They're going to know that's not you. So just be raw, be real, be yourself. And your people are going to love you.
And don't mess up good for perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stress so much that story has to be so spot on and so perfect. Right from your heart. and say what you want to say, because you can't say the wrong things to the right people. So when you're talking to your people, when you're speaking from your heart, they're going to hear you and they're going to say, hey, she's onto something, or hey, I can relate to her or him, or hey, I need to reach out because this is my person, you know? So don't mess up good for perfect. Just speak from your heart.
Yep, I agree. What?
Call to action. We have a call to action for you guys.
And that's not normal, but we were thinking, let's do it.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't read.
You
Sorry,
can't
I can't
read my
read Jess's writing. Hang on. Okay, so I think what this means is we want you guys to think about, like, write a list of who your people are, and then go out and try to find these groups in Facebook and connect with them. So
And let's go back real quick to say why are we doing this? Because if you're talking to people that aren't your people, they're not going to hear you. Number one, they might see what you're writing, but they're not going to feel you. And number two, it's going to be, if you try and start a conversation with them, it's not going to flow because you guys aren't on the same wavelength. You're going to waste your time. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get irritated, and it's not going to produce anything personally or business wise. So you can't force your way into a conversation with people that aren't your people.
well, and why are we doing this? For one, we're here to help people, but we're also doing this because this is allowing all of you on here, all of us with Prove It, it's allowing us to do what we love. It's allowing us to be the person we really want to be. So why wouldn't we do the things we love doing? When you do the things you love doing and you start helping people that love doing the same things you love doing, it all goes together. Everything happens. And there's like love for everyone. So yeah. So, all right, guys. It looks
It's
like yep,
9:30
we're out of time.
On the dot.
So do we have to say anything legally?
Oh yeah, I'm Jess Nels, and this is Tony Salviano, and we are independent promoters with our amazing
It's a little
company.
late.
Prove It.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to end this call and log off. But
Thanks for
thank you
tuning
for
in.
coming on.
See ya.